we're going to be testing out my new camera today. So we're not using this camera today. We are using my brand new one. Hopefully the audio is okay. If not, I'm gonna have to use my microphone. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So we're here with the first wrap up of this year and the first TBR? No. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's like the official, wrap up in TBR. I read one book and then I DNF'd a book. So technically I read two, but I DNF'd one. And I have a few books on the TBR. I'm only putting a few on, which is kind of usually what I always put on. I've only just put, how many did I put on? I put 5 on. I put 5 because your girl hasn't really been reading. I tried this month to read and I went on a holiday for 4 days and I was like, this is gonna be the time I read, because last time I went on a holiday to the same place, I'd say kind of like a book and a half, which was amazing in 4 days. This time round wasn't the same. I've gone back in my gaming kind of phase, so I was addicted this month to The Last of Us and The Walking Dead. I didn't play The Last of Us because I don't have a PS4 or a PS5, but I watched the gameplay and I'm like obsessed with it now. And also I did play The Walking Dead and I only finished season 4 2 days ago, so I've completed the whole entire game franchise series. I am now also hung up on that. So I didn't do much reading because the rest of it was just either watching gameplay or playing games, and I'm just like, yeah. But I've also been thinking of making a gaming channel. If you guys are interested in that, let me know. Now I have this channel, it's my vlog and book channel, and then I can have a gaming channel. We never know. Anyways, we're just gonna get right into it. This is just gonna be short, sweet, simple. Here are the books that I read. Here are the books on my TBR. Oh, as you can tell as well, can you see it here? Right there. That is the Iron Flame book that I just got today. Like, probably not even an hour ago. I hate though, it's bigger than this one, than the first one. I don't like that. The first book that I read in January was Bad Blood. I really enjoyed this book. Not gonna say what this one is about because it will spoil the other books. I did end up finishing it. The wrap up that I did for December, I had this book in it, but I was still reading it at the time while filming and didn't finish it, and probably till like a week later. I decided not to add it into the wrap up / TBR because I hadn't finished it. And so in my thumbnail there's the book in it, but I had cut out, what I said about this book. So we're here. I rated this book a 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed this book. It's probably my favorite in the series besides the first one. The first one was amazing. The first 50 pages of the book, I was a bit confused. At the start I was like, I don't know what people are confused about. Like, I'm really going through this. And then there is some information in here and just other stuff that I was a bit like, what's going on? Like, did I miss something from the other books? I know I bloody daydream a lot and forget what happens in books, but I don't. Like, important information that is in this book I would remember from the other books. Like, this, it's not something that I would forget. So that was just a little bit upsetting, but everything else I absolutely enjoyed very much. And I do have to read 12, which is the novella, but I don't want to read it yet. Enjoyed it a lot. Very upset that I'm basically finished with the series now. And then the book that I DNF'd, unfortunately, I did take the bookmark out of this because I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna read it. I'm sorry. I'll try and read the other books if I can read the other books as like standalones in the series, because I do want to read those. I've heard those ones are a lot better than the first book, so we're gonna see what happens. But I DNF'd flawless. At the start, when I picked this book back up, I was so in the mood to read it and I was like, yes, I'm gonna read it. I'm so excited. I think I just need to give this book a second chance. I can see why I DNF'd it the first time around. I really enjoyed being in Summer's POV. She seems really great. And Rhett, do not want to talk about what the hell he says in his mind about Summer, because he says the same thing over and over again every single time we're in this chapter. I swear to freaking God. I got about 40% into the book. I also read it on my Kindle as well, and I really tried to continue, but I didn't want to put myself in a slump, and I just didn't want to force myself to read it. Another book that I'm still reading that I started in Jan is Air of Fire. I'm doing my reread of it, and I'm pretty sure that was on my TBR. I did start it, I just haven't finished it because I've been playing games. So I have a mix of books. I have fantasy in here, I have romance, and I have thriller. Oh, this book as well. I started in January and I haven't finished, but I took it on holidays with me and I started it then. I want to read Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. I'm pretty sure I had this on my TBR for the last month, and it's going back on the TBR because I do want to read it, and I'm very excited. From what I've read so far, which is only, 13 pages, this sounds, from what I've seen, it sounds like they're in a bloody cult right now. We will see what happens. Next book that I want to read, I also had on my TBR last month, which is Queen of Shadows. I want to go back to this book. This book will stay on my TBR for every month until I read it, because I will read it soon. I can promise you that. I will read it, okay? Mark my words. I will read this book. Another book that I want to read in Feb is Delilah Green Doesn't Care, because she really does not care. I want to start reading some books by this author, Ashley Herring Blake. I have not seen much about this book at all. It became popular for a little bit, probably like 2 weeks or something, and then everyone just stopped talking about it. I've seen it, some people read it lately, but nothing else. It's on my TBR cart and I look at it every time and I'm like, I'm gonna read you soon. So you know what? I'm gonna put this on my February TBR. Next book I want to read is Assistant to the Villain. I thought this was a like murder mystery thriller book kind of thing. Like romance as well in it. But apparently it's a fantasy book. I put it on my shelf with all my like thriller and crime and all that, thinking it was that, and then literally the next day I see it's a fantasy book. So I'm like, oh, I mean that makes a bit of sense because there's a fairy and a wand. It makes a lot more sense than what I thought. But I've heard that this book is amazing, so I want to see what's going to happen in the book, what the hype is about. The last book that I want to read in Feb is Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. This has been sitting on my shelf as well since I bought it, and I look at it every single time like Delilah Green, and I'm like, I want to read you soon. So I'm going to put it on my TBR now, and we're going to see if I read it. We'll see. I hope so. The writing is pretty big in this book. We just went from small writing to big writing. And it is thick, but I'm excited. And she has released, I think, the cover for the second book. Not sure what it is though. Very excited because I've heard that people absolutely love this book and love, is it Julian? Yes, Julian. They love Julian. So I'm excited. I can't wait. I want to read another Lauren Asher book because I love her books. That is it for today's video. It was a very short one. Short wrap up in TBR, unfortunately. But we're going to try and improve throughout the year because I need to read 60 books this year. Do I think I can do it? Yeah, I think I can do it. Thank you guys again. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to do all the usual YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe, and turn on notification bells so you know every time that I upload. And I'll see you guys in my next video.